You ask the child to tidy up and they just stare at you. You repeat yourself and they still don't move. Another TA walks by, gives the same instruction, but this time with a gesture and a smile, and like magic, the child starts packing away. You wonder, why did that work for them and not me? If you've ever had a moment like that, you're not alone, and it's not about getting louder or stricter. It's about knowing how to communicate in a way that makes sense to the child. In this video, you'll learn how to spot communication barriers in children who are neurodivergent and adapt your approach so instructions and interactions are more successful for both of you. Here are 4 ways to achieve that. 1. Assume nothing. Check understanding clearly. Now, many neurodivergent children may nod or look at you without fully processing what you've said. Try using a "can you show me what you're going to do" follow-up, or "what's the first step?" This helps you gauge whether they understood your words, not just heard them. 2. Use fewer words and support with visuals. So to say something like this, "Can you please go back to your table, find your blue book, open it to the page we were working on and carry on with your writing," that's too much all at once. What you need to do is break down instructions and wait for each one to be achieved. So you would, instead of saying it all at once, you would say, "Go back to your table," pause, wait for that to happen, "find your blue book," wait for that to happen, "open it to the page we were working on." You might need to say what page that is. Carry on with your writing. If you combine all of that with a visual cue, if possible, so pointing, a picture, or a mini prompt card, that will really help the situation and help the child to understand what it is you want them to do. 3. Let them process and build in pause time. So neurodivergent children often need a few seconds more to take in what you've said. So after giving an instruction, pause, just like I've demonstrated. Don't repeat or rephrase immediately, because that pause can be the golden gap they need to get going. So it's just about you slowing down, which isn't a bad thing. Slow down. Pause after each instruction. Wait for them to complete that instruction before going on to the next. 4. Communicate beyond words. So tone, body language, gestures carry a lot of meaning, especially for children who struggle with verbal language. Now, for neurodivergent children, facial expressions might not be as helpful because then they struggle to read facial expressions. But the tone of voice you use, your body language and gestures all help to add another layer of understanding. So a calm posture or a thumbs up can speak louder than words. And of course, smile, always smile. That definitely helps. And here's how to shift your perspective if you are finding this tricky. So if a child doesn't respond to your request or instruction, ask yourself why. Because what looks like defiance might be a difference in how they receive and interpret communication. So start with positive curiosity rather than negative assumption. Always ask yourself, why has this child not responded in the way I thought they should? And here's some action you can take. So choose one child you support and notice how they respond best. Do they respond best to spoken instructions, gestures, visual instructions, or routines, or a combination of all? So try using one particular method though consistently for a few days and see if it makes a difference. So maybe add in a method and see if it makes a difference to that child's understanding. You don't need to be a language and communication expert to make a big impact. Just by tuning in to how a child takes in information, you can remove huge hurdles from their day and yours. And that will make such a big difference to how much they learn and how much they look forward to coming into school. If you remove the barriers of communication, you're doing a tremendous job. Now, in video 4, we will look at predictability and routine and why they matter. I look forward to seeing you there.